Alright, this video here is to learn the future tense, but only for the third and fourth conjugation. So what that means is verbs that end in short ERE or verbs that end in IRE. This rule only applies to these two conjugations. So let's take a look at it. We're going to take the infinitive, which is the second principal part, which is right here. We're going to subtract the RE, and then we're going to be adding an A or an E, depending on the person, and then our normal endings, which are most, must, isn't, OST, muss, tis, or unt. So let us take a look. The first person is always a little bit weird, so let's take a look at it here. There's exceptions in most cases. So R-E-G. Now in this case we're actually going to be losing the whole ERE. Alright, the whole ERE. And in fact it might be easier to think of it as chopping off the ERE, the whole ERE instead of just the RE. So REG plus an A. So we had our A and then our person ending M. You're never going to have an O follow an A. So this would be I will rule or reign. Let's take a look at the second person. So REG, we chop off the ERE, we add an E, and then add an S, which is for second person. You will rule. So a really good way to think about this future tense in these two conjugations is basically an E will tell us that it's in the future tense. The only exception to that is this first person, which is an A. Everything else is going to end in E plus the person ending. Let's keep going here. R-E-G-E-T. He will rule. The plural here is regimus. We will rule. Then regatus. You all will rule. And then regent. E plus the NT there. They will rule. Okay, let's take a look at some examples. Two as always. Let's take a look at the first one. Change colors, something a little bit better. So first one, regon. Well, our verb comes first here, and let's set up our sentence. Subject, verb, and maybe or maybe not a direct object. Some sentences don't have one. So our verb is first. Notice the am ending is future tense in the third and fourth conjugation. So we know it's going to be will rule. Who's doing it? We have to look at the ending. The M ending tells us that it's first person. So I will rule. And then our last word here is in the accusative case, has an AM ending for first declension, and it's capital, so it's a place, Rome. I will rule Rome. That's how that would be read. It can be a little confusing sometimes. If you notice both words end in an AM, one's a verb and one's a noun. So you got to be careful that you know your dictionary entries and that you know your vocabulary, because you might get confused that first word might be a noun. Let's take a look at the second sentence. Let's set it up. Subject, verb, maybe a direct object. So, first word, notice it's our verb again. It has an E and then an MUS. So we know it's future. Will rule. Who's doing the action? Muss. That tells us we. We will rule. Orbem is accusative. It's our direct object. It means world or orb. We will rule, and you can add the. We will rule the world. That's how that would be read. So hopefully this is helpful. Check out the other tenses if you're having difficulties. That's it.